the MVP race is a tight one. People are already calling that James Harden should be the winner. They're saying there's no debate, there's no competition there because James Harden has been scoring a whole bunch of points. But history shows us that just because someone scores a whole lot of points in a lot of games doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to win the MVP. Kobe Bryant should have been MVP of the NBA multiple seasons. He had a lot of seasons where he averaged over 30 plus, and he never won MVP. He won MVP 1 year. And a lot of people tend to forget this had to do with his team's losing record. This had to do with his alleged rape case. All those things forced Kobe to miss a couple MVPs. So everybody, hold off and pump your brakes. Don't get enamored by the media or the scoring in bunches that James Harden has been doing. The scoring 30 plus, scoring 30 plus in whatever streak he's been having. You need to look at things objectively. And honestly speaking, when you're looking at an MVP, most valuable player for a season, you have to take everything into account, not just scoring. And that's why things with Kobe didn't go so well. Kobe should have at least 3 to 4 more MVPs, but he doesn't. And that has to do with everything else around Kobe at the time. So let's look at everything else outside of scoring with James Harden and Giannis Antetokounmpo. So when we'll just compare the two guys really quick. Points per game, James Harden is averaging 36.2 per game. Giannis is 27. James Harden averaged 9 more points per game. It's really impressive. You can't take that away from him. The only issue I have with everybody saying that James Harden is supposed to be the MVP and the number one guy is this. Just because he's scoring 50 or 40 plus points per game, did he get a win every single time? And a lot of those games, they didn't get the win. There was one game against the Memphis Grizzlies, he scored 57 points, they didn't get the win. So right then and there, it's like you scored a lot of points, but what did that do? The other night, Devin Booker had 59 points against the Utah Jazz, and they still lost by almost 30. And that's my point there. Just because somebody scores a whole bunch of points doesn't necessarily make them the most valuable. Field goal percentage. You look at between the two. James Harden has a field goal percentage of 43.8%. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 58.1%. Giannis is more efficient than James Harden. Point blank period. Win shares. James Harden at 13.2. Giannis at 13.5. Giannis is just a tick up. Just a tick up. You look at effective field goal percentage. James Harden is at 53.5%. Giannis is at 60%. 60%. Then you look at rebounding. James Harden is at 6.5 rebounds per game. Giannis is at 12.6. So just scoring and rebounding, Giannis is averaging a triple-double for the a double-double for the season. A double-double. He's a walking double-double. And then you look at the team's records. The Houston Rockets are sitting at 47-28, and the Bucks are sitting at number 1 in the East, while the Rockets are 4th in the East. The Bucks are number 1 in the East, 56-19. Guys, it's not as a clear-cut debate, and honestly speaking, after mentioning all these categories, there's 6 categories that I mentioned. Giannis outranked James Harden in 5 of these categories. There's no way that somebody can say James Harden is clearly the MVP. After the facts that I'm giving you here, and I love James Harden, I've always championed for him to be the MVP, even when Steph won it the first year that Steph won it. This year, you got to give credit where it's due. Giannis Antetokounmpo is this year's MVP. Point blank period. I mean, you could debate, James Harden, the scoring, the streaks, this, that, and the third. But what you look at what he's been able to do within the team concept, the amount of games they've been able to win, his efficiency. You guys don't understand. Giannis Antetokounmpo is having a better season than Shaq when Shaq won MVP. You know what I'm saying? Like, Giannis Antetokounmpo is having a year that's like basically Shaq-like numbers. Point blank period. And Shaq is a Hall of Famer. I know James Harden is he's doing things we've never really seen before in terms of scoring department somewhat, but you can't ignore the multitude of things that Giannis is doing on the court, especially defensively. When you factor defensive-wise, the blocks, the steals, stuff like that. I mean, you got to lean more towards Giannis, especially because he did it the entire year. Some people may argue, hey, Harden had injuries, CP3 was injured, this, that, and the third. Even with CP3 injured and other guy Clint Capella injured. You would not expect the Bucks to have a better record than the Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets last year were one game away from making it to the NBA Finals. The Bucks were not. When I say Chris Paul, James Harden, Clint Capella versus Giannis Antetokounmpo, Eric Bledsoe, and Brook Lopez, which trio are you gonna pick? You're gonna pick CP3, Harden, and Clint Capella. But guess what? Giannis is able. That trio is outperforming James Harden's trio and James Harden's team. Guys, you have to take everything into account, and everything I laid out here. Giannis Antetokounmpo is the MVP. He played the entire whole season. He never took his foot off the gas. His team is very successful. He has Shaq-like numbers. He is extremely efficient, and he is basically unstoppable for the regular season. We'll see how it plays out in playoffs. But this season, you really got to give the award to Giannis Antetokounmpo. I mean, and it's a style over substance thing. A lot of people kind of fall in love with James Harden's style. When you look at the entire substance for the entire year, Giannis Antetokounmpo, he gets the MVP. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Who is your MVP? Who you think that the voters should pick? Hoops Junction, where hoops meets hoopla. Like, comment, and subscribe.